Part 1. Baby Rudy. Dear readers, I take you to Switzerland. Look around you, look up at the gloomy forests on the rugged mountain peaks. Climb up to the shining snowbanks and descend to the green plains, where countless rivers and streams are roaring and rushing, as if afraid they won, and number 39 T arrive in time to disappear in the sea. The sun shines hot rays into the deep valleys, melting masses of snow. At night, the snow freezes into ice sheets, slides off and rolls down the mountain, or forms glaciers that pile up on top of each other. Among them are two glaciers that fill large crevices at the foot of the Sarachoch and Bet-Chuch mountains near the town of Gorandenvan. These glaciers form in a strange way, so in the summer, many tourists from all over the world come to rest there. From the valleys, they climbed for hours to reach the top of the mountain, where they felt like they were seeing the plains from a hot air balloon floating in the air. Clouds always gather over the mountains into a vast veil, and the sun shines down into the valley, making the plants and trees glow like a silk sheet placed in front of a lamp. Still high above, the water whispered, gurgled softly and slithered along the rocks, spreading out into silver strips. On both sides of the road leading up to the glacier are wooden houses. Around each one there is a small potato garden that feeds the babies, with pretty, gluttonous mouths, busy in those small houses. People see flocks of children rushing in front of tourists, surrounding them and inviting them to buy beautiful wooden houses carved by their parents. On beautiful sunny days as well as on pouring rain, those children always stand scattered on the street to offer tourists their small goods. About 20 years ago, tourists see a child also coming to sell, running with other children, but the child always stands a bit far away. She has a lovely serious face, and holds the wooden box with both hands, as if she never wants to let it go. The other children disturbed everyone. As for me, I Don and number 39 T say anything. But the child and number 39 S serious appearance made people prefer to call him more than the other mischievous children, and he sold more goods, although he did not know why. It was my grandfather who carved the pecan tongs, the strange gongs, the monkeys, the spoons, the forks, the boxes carved with elegant branches and leaves, and the slender deer. The old man lives high in the mountains. He has a cabinet full of such beautiful toys that often make children very excited. But the baby, named Rudy, didn't and #39 T pay much attention to those toys. What I like to look at and covet, what I long to possess, is the ancient gun hanging from the rafters. My grandfather promised me, but only when I was old enough to use the gun. Even though I was little, I had to herd goats. If a good goat herder needs to know how to climb rocks with goats, then Rudy is a good goat herder. I can climb higher than a goat. I like climbing to the top of tall trees to remove bird nests. I and number 39 am brave, but being reckless is different. Only when I come to a roaring waterfall, or hear the rumbling sound of an avalanche, do I see you smile. I never play with other children. I only saw you among them when my grandfather sent me to sell wooden furniture made by my grandfather. Rudy didn't and #39 T like doing that at all. I just like to climb dangerous mountains alone, or sit next to my grandfather to listen to old stories and novels about Marangine, where my grandfather grew up, a land that was once occupied by a nation of Swedish descent from the far north to invade. So Rudy learned the lesson. While listening to the old sculptor and number 39's stories, I gained a little knowledge that other children my age did not have. But my mind is even sharper thanks to interacting with the animals living in the wooden house. Those are Ajola, my father and number 39's big dog, and a cat that Rudy loves very much. It was this cat that taught Rudy how to climb. One day the cat said, and quat, "Hey, come up to the roof with me and quat." I understood immediately. When people immediately understand the voices of chickens, ducks, dogs and cats, they speak as clearly as our parents speak to us. When I used his stick as a horse to ride, I heard it neighing and saw that it had a head, legs, and tail. But once we grow up, that feature is lost. However, there are also many children who can retain that feature longer than others. People think they are seriously stupid. But people in real life are so talkative. Here, the cat told me, and quat, "Hey, come up to the roof with me," and quat. Thinking it is dangerous is illusory. When people are not afraid of falling. Now, you put one leg like that, one leg like that. Keep your front legs steady. Your eyes must be very sharp, your body must be very soft. When you come to a deep abyss, just jump over, without fear of anything. Look, I and number 39 am doing this. And quat. So Rudy memorized the whole lecture, followed the cat up to the roofs and treetops. Then, he climbed up to the small sharp rocks, places where cats cannot climb. It was the craggy bushes that taught me to cling to the narrowest and most dangerous mountain ridges. Rudy often climbed the mountain before sunrise, and there she breathed fresh, healthy air. It and number 39's an elixir that only a good God knows how to make, and here and number 39's how to make it. Mix the scent of all the fresh mountain herbs with mint, musk, roses and all other flowers grow in the valley. Filter out the most fragrant aromas, and let the clouds absorb the heavy vapors. Let the wind push them all through the pine forests. Then you get the scent of a bouquet. Flowers are fresh, gentle and extremely fragrant. Rudy herself goes up every morning to enjoy that fragrance on the high mountain. The sunlight caresses her cheeks. The god of Dizzy, the disgusting demon, is stalking her, but there was an order from the superiors forbidding him to come near the baby. The swallows in the flock of bird nests built under the roof of my grandfather and number 39's house flew with me to the high mountain where I herded the goats, and sang mysterious choruses, and quat, "V snail I, O snail I, O snail V," and quat. They passed on to her the compliments of everyone in the house, including the hens, animals with whom she had no contact. Even though I was young, I used to travel quite a lot. I was born in the canton of Vail. From there they took me across the Alps to Oberklen, when I was still very young. Later, I once walked all the way to Ettobach to admire the beautiful waterfall shining in the air like a silver sheet about 300 meters long in front of Jungfrau Mountain covered with pure white snow and ice. There was also a time when I got close to the big glaciers in Gorandenven. But it and number 39's a sad story. My mother died there and I lost all the fun of my childhood. Sometimes my grandfather would tell me, and quat, when Rudy was 2 years old, he was always smiling. His mother and number 39's letter to me was full of stories about his crazy happiness, but ever since he fell into the ice cave. Now, I and number 39's they become more serious than the old man." The old man did not like to talk about that incident, but everyone in the surrounding area knew about it. The story goes like this. People only remember that Rudy and number 39's father was a carriage driver. The big dog Ajola always followed him when he drove from Geneva over the Samphon Pass, going to Italy. He has a younger brother in the valley along the Rhône River in Vale Canton. He is a brave deer hunter and also a guide for tourists. Rudy lost his father when he was 2 years old. Her mother decided to return to her hometown of Oberklin in Bern, to live with her grandfather a mile away from Gorendenven. The old man carved beautiful wooden objects to make a living. So in June she took her child and went with 2 deer hunters. They had crossed the slopes of Mount Gemmi and had seen from afar the wooden houses in the valley of their homeland. They only had to cross one large glacier. The road was difficult. Snow had just fallen, covering a chasm that was only a few dozen meters wide, as is common in this area, but deeper than a person. The young woman slipped, fell into the snow, and with Rudy fell to the bottom of the abyss. At first people did not hear cries or groans. But soon the baby started crying. It took more than an hour for the 2 deer hunters to find stakes and rope at a nearby house. After many efforts, at dawn they were able to bring up the mother and the baby, who looked dead. People could save the baby, but the mother could not. The baby was brought back to his grandfather, and the old man tried his best to raise him well. Don and number 39 see you as happy and smiling as your mother described. The baby almost never smiles anymore. That was the result of the accident that caused the baby to fall into a strange icy world. That world is full of great blocks of white or blue ice, in all shapes and sizes, piled on top of each other. According to the superstition of the Swiss mountain people, the souls of the guilty are imprisoned there until the final judgment. Inside the glacier there are vast caves and deep chasms all the way to the heart of the Alps. There is a beautiful castle there. That is the palace of the ice goddess, the queen of this shadowy realm. She likes to destroy, crush things. The sky is the father and mother. Her power spreads over all the rivers originating from her land. She can rush faster than a deer up eternal snow peaks that even the most daring person would have to carve steps into the ice to climb. There were times when she poured down the most ferocious waterfalls on the branches of the pine trees and then jumped from one ledge to another, her long white hair fluttering around her, wearing a cloak the color of a lake like the water of the sea. Lake of the Helvetii region. When people pulled Rudy out of the abyss, she screamed, "And quat, forget it, leave it alone. It and number 39's mine, and quat." When they took the baby away, she said, "And quat, they robbed me of a beautiful baby. I hugged it, and was about to give it a kiss that would kill it. So it returned to live with people. And quat, life. It herds goats on the mountain, it climbs higher and higher. It goes further than everyone else, but not far from me. It is mine, I will take it. And quat." And she asked the stunning god to catch the baby for her, because at that time, in the Green Alps, the mint tree had grown, becoming summer, making the ice goddess unbearably hot. The stunned god flew up into the air and then plunged to the bottom of the lakes, and people saw one of his children emerge, then 2 or 3 more, and finally a large flock, for he had many children. Some lurk on stairs, others lurk on high floors, church steeples and mountain peaks. They swim through the air like fish in water and seduce their victims to plunge them into the abyss. The god of stun and the goddess of frost are both waiting to grab people when they get close, like an octopus wraps itself around everything it can grasp. Of all the stun god and number 39's children, the ice goddess chose the strongest, most mischievous one and ordered him to capture Rudy and bring him back to her. He replied, "And quat, I can, and number 39. Catch that boy. Many times I have set the most dangerous traps to catch him, but the damn cat has passed on to the boy all of its secrets. Furthermore, there is the invisible force kept pushing me away, protecting that humble human being. Even when he climbed the tree branch over the abyss, I tickled his feet and breathed on him, making him dizzy. Still standing still and not considering me at all. And quat, the goddess said, even if it and number 39's not you, it and number 39's me. Yes, it and number 39's me, it and number 39's me. Suddenly there was a voice, and quat, no, no, and quat, like the ringing of church bells. But it is a real song. That was the chorus of gentle and lovely angels. There was another voice, and quat, no, no, and quat. Those are the Tai Duong princesses. Every afternoon, the girls form a circle on the mountain tops, spreading their red wings as the sun lowers over the horizon, covering the Alps with a fiery halo. When the sun had completely set, they crawled into the layers of snow that covered the sleeping mountains until the sun appeared again. What they love most are flowers, butterflies and humans, but their pet is Rudy. They sang, and quat, you can, and number 39. Catch him, you won, and number 39. Get him, and quat. The goddess replied. And quat, I have captured those who are bigger and stronger than him. And quat. The Sun Princesses sang in unison a song telling the story of how a whirlwind snatched a traveler and number 39's cloak and swept it up into the air. But it can only roll the shirt, not the body. They sang, and quat, children of violence, you have caught the man, but you cannot hold the head. Man is stronger than us, stronger than the power of nature. They have divine wisdom in them. They know the spells that make the wind and water obey and serve them. And quat, that is the chorus of the angels. And every morning the sun and number 39's rays shine through the only window of the old man and number 39's house, right up to where the baby is sleeping. The Sun Princesses caressed the baby, kissing her all over with the most passionate kisses to erase the traces of the cold kiss of the ice goddess when she was still under her mother and number 39's womb in the abyss, and was miraculously rescued. Continue reading Ice Goddess Part 2. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.